I think we can all agree that growing your own food is a lot of hard work, and preserving the food that you grow is definitely not easy. We are just getting our butts kicked with how much food we're pulling from the yard these days. I mean, I was up until 10 o'clock canning pizza sauce last night, and that is way past my bedtime. I am an old lady. My bedtime is like 7:30. But I did just want to come on here for a few minutes and talk about our wins and losses that we've had back here this year so far, how much we've grown, how much we've learned as a family, and really putting in the, I wouldn't say blood because I don't think any of us has bled so far this year, but a lot of sweat and tears have gone into building up this backyard homestead. I do want to start off by saying 2 years ago, I couldn't even keep a windowsill herb set alive, and now look at me. I mean, all of this has been so successful this year. It really blows my mind to think 2 years ago at this point, I knew nothing. I knew nothing 2 years ago, and now I am back here every day eating something fresh from the garden every day, preserving. I have cans filling up in my pantry. I have bags and bags and bags full of produce from the garden in my freezers. I mean, we're doing the thing, you know? And just thinking back to that poor little herb set that stood no chance sitting there in my windowsill. I mean, I'm impressed with us. I really am impressed with how far we've grown in the last 2 years. So 2 years ago, I went down the rabbit hole with all the homesteading content I could find online. What really stood out to me was I wanted backyard chickens, which they're behind my tomato wall back there. And I really like the idea of having a pantry stocked full of canned goods that I grew myself in my backyard to feed my family. Fresh organic food that we grow ourselves in our backyard. And this initially all started because my brother called us stupid for not utilizing our backyard to our advantage. And I was complaining to him about how long it takes my husband to cut the grass and yada, yada, yada. He started calling us stupid for not growing our own food, and then bam, went down the rabbit hole, and I am at heart a full-blown homesteader. Last year we started with just a bucket garden up in our driveway, and I really do recommend that if you're just starting out. We did it that way because we were just testing the waters, seeing if we even like gardening before we took a commitment, I would say, and built beds back here. Bucket garden, very easy to dispose of. If you don't like gardening, you can easily get rid of the bucket garden. Learned a lot last year, and we absolutely loved it to where we knew that we were gonna upscale this year. We had no idea we were gonna upscale this much this year until spring happened, and I wanted more and more and more and more and more. So yeah, this spring we spent February, March, and April building up 90% of the raised beds we have back here. We thought we were exhausted then. We had no idea what was in store for us because, man, we're exhausted now. It took us 2.5 days to pull up all of our potatoes. We got 60 pounds, and then it took us 2.5 more days on top of that to try to process them down into freezer-friendly potatoes. We still have about 1/3 of our potatoes we just left whole because we just don't have the time. Like, we spent most of our vacation last week trying to process them down. We have 67 pounds of tomatoes inside waiting to be processed. Nope, scratch that. I processed 30 pounds of potatoes, or I processed 30 pounds of tomatoes just yesterday into homemade pizza sauce, and I still have so many tomatoes. But that's a good thing because I do want to make my own ketchup and barbecue sauce and marinara sauce and probably another batch of pizza sauce because I learned how to make pizzas from scratch a few weeks ago, and my kids love them and they request them all the time. So definitely gonna make some more pizza sauces. So yeah, this year we pulled up 60 pounds of potatoes, which was a slight disappointment because I got half of the amount I thought I would get. But I came to the conclusion that it was probably just a blessing in disguise because it took us a long time to process them down. We have a stupid amount of green beans. Like, why I planted 103 plants, I'll never know. I'll never know why I did that. And future self me will always make fun of me for planting 103 green bean plants. We did not need that much. Learning that we don't need 4 banana pepper plants either. Like, me and my son are the only 2 that eats the banana peppers. So why this spring I decided to plant 4, I will never know. What else? We were able to get 5 really good sized heads of broccoli this spring because I put laundry mesh bags on top. Last year we planted broccoli and those stupid cabbage worms, man, they came and destroyed my plant. Not once, but twice. Twice it came and destroyed the plant because the plant started regrowing itself, and nope, they came back and chewed it all up. But this year I put laundry mesh bags on top of my broccoli plants and they did really good. I was so happy when I was harvesting my broccoli this year because I finally did it. Last year my carrots turned out thin, stringy, not even edible because they were so small. This year I did my research and I am a carrot pro. I feel I got 88 really good size carrots that we pulled up from just one garden bed. After I chopped off the tops and I was able to separate them into 10 family size portions of carrots. So that's pretty cool to have 10 bags of carrots just sitting in my fridge waiting for us to eat. I'm learning how to can various things. Wouldn't really take any canning advice from me, but I'm a beginner and I'm learning. So maybe sometime down the road, I'd feel more confident sharing what I'm doing when I'm canning. I think I made between 8 and 10 jars of pickles, dill garlic pickles that I'm very excited to try because they're still downstairs in my pantry room, soaking in all the goodness and waiting to get really tasty. Another win for us this year so far has been our zucchini. We got so many zucchini. If you know anything about zucchini, you know that you need to start getting creative with it once it starts coming in. Because they just don't stop when they start coming in until the plant dies. And sadly, both of my plants died, actually. But I had so much fun with my zucchini while it was producing. I mean, I made a mock apple crisp with it. So good. Barefoot Mimosas recipe, highly recommend. I made zucchini brownies. I made zucchini bread for the first time. I mean, zucchini, it takes the flavor of whatever you cook it in. So you can even make mock pineapple. I wanted to try that this year. I just didn't get to it. Made some zucchini fries that were really good. I mean, you can just make so many things with zucchini. It's really an underrated vegetable, in my opinion. A fail we have this year, though, is right behind me. Probably can't see it. It's over here. This was supposed to be a blueberry patch right here. It got so overtaken by weeds that I try not to ever show it in our videos because I'm so embarrassed by it. But there's just maybe next year for the blueberries, which is really sad because that's my son's favorite fruit. It just, I don't know. I don't know what to even say other than we just didn't have time for everything. And we are really stretching ourselves thin, it seems. I can't even find my blueberry plants. I just looked for them. This is just a hot mess that we're gonna have to find time to get taken care of because I'm putting it into existence now. We are gonna take care of this blueberry bed sometime soon. I guess while I'm talking about our wins and losses, I just glanced over to this bed back here where we had our garlic and our onions, and the garlic, so good, so good. If you've never had homegrown garlic, you don't know what you're missing. It's so potent. The taste is so, like, I just don't know how old the garlic is from the grocery store if this garlic tastes like this. So along with the onions. Onions were a hit and miss this year. Some of them really nice big size and other ones just didn't grow. We had a windstorm in this garlic bed halfway through the season and it knocked over some garlic, knocked over the onions, and they just didn't quite recover. So it is what it is. There's always next year. We still got 2 gallon-sized bags full of all the small onions chopped up, and we have probably a dozen or so big, nice onions that are in the house curing right now. I don't know what else I was going to say about that. Our butternut squashes are doing pretty good. The ones that are still here, my hand just went into a spider web, and that's really gross. I'm going to say if these aren't done like now, I really need to look it up because I'm not sure. They're going to be done anytime now, and there's dozens in this bed. I mean, they're all over. I hear that butternut squash makes a better pumpkin pie than pumpkins do, so that's definitely what I'm going to do with my butternut squashes. And I actually have a really big one back here hiding. It's like almost the size of a pumpkin. It's like nice and big and juicy. Hopefully it's not full of seeds when Oh, you can't really tell, but I'm not sticking my hand down there either because here's another spider web. You can't even see it on the camera. Well, maybe you can. I don't know. It doesn't matter. This was our potato bed back here. I had 4 rows. It's like a shape of like a M. Like there's 3 rows down and 1 long row connecting it up top, up there. At the beginning of the season, I thought for sure this would be the thing that saved us the most money, planting 150 potato plants. You would think even under poor conditions, if they were supposed to yield a pound each. Man, I only got 60 pounds. So the really poor conditions. Ooh, see, I think I just had a spider on me. Anyways, when I built this, I just got cardboard, laid it down and put the seed potatoes on and then covered them up with soil. I thought it was a great hack. It was supposed to be a no-dig method, and man, was I wrong. It took us 2.5 days, no dig, my butt. We were on our knees digging, man. It was ridiculous. So yeah, next year I'm gonna try to get Will, I know you're listening to this at some point. You'll be listening to this. Will, I think we want to build raised beds for our potatoes next year so they actually have the depth that they need to grow, and we can have even more potatoes to stress out about processing them down. Will also seems to think that we're getting too many tomatoes, that we won't need tomatoes next year. I don't know. He said that last night and I just kind of brushed it off. Don't tell me that we don't need more tomatoes next year because he thinks we're going to have enough canned up to last 2 years. Really, Will? I don't know. But anyways, I do agree. Maybe we can go down to 8 plants because that would make a little bit more sense in these beds, give them more space, more airflow. Yeah, I'll go down to 8 plants, Will, but we're not growing tomatoes next year. Sorry, honey. We're growing Hungarian heart tomatoes along this wall down here. We have some red onions growing still. Yeah, these are great tomatoes in my opinion. I've never had them before this year, but we had 1 tomato a few weeks ago that was 1.7 pounds. That thing was huge, and I felt so sorry to cut it up and freeze it because, man, that was a good tomato, and I missed that thing. This is that tomato I was talking about, 1.7 pounds. This thing is massive. We've been freezing our tomatoes after they ripen, and we've also been plucking them. Like, after this video, I'm gonna come back and get these tomatoes that are blemishing. I think I counted 8 while I was out here just a little bit ago messing around with my chickens. But we've been plucking them when they're just slightly blemishing and letting them finish ripening out on our counter. Couple reasons. One, to avoid cracking because heirloom varieties crack, and I've had tons of cracked tomatoes. But we also don't want the bugs to start attacking them if they turn red. And yeah, anyways, we just pluck them and let them ripen out on our counter, and it's been working out just fine. After they ripen out, I core them and then I freeze them. And I was trying to bulk them up to have just 1 or 2 big batch days where I process them down and make my marinara sauce, ketchup, barbecue sauce, pizza sauce, whatever I decide to be doing with my tomatoes. We're running out of space in our freezer, and it's not looking good for us in there. Will is very stressed out about our freezer space because there's still so much more to harvest back here. But it is what it is. We will figure it out, and it's not the worst thing to be stressed out over, having too much food. I feel like I'm forgetting to say something and I can't remember what it was. If you do freeze your tomatoes, I think this is what I was going to say. If you do freeze your tomatoes, when you go to de-thaw them, it breaks down their cell wall and it really makes them release a lot of their liquids and makes simmering them down into your sauces or salsa or whatever you're making with it. It saves you hours that way because the tomato's already releasing so much liquid as it's de-thawing, which I experienced yesterday. Truth be told, I made pizza sauce yesterday and it was a disaster. It was a disaster. If you know a good way to make pizza sauce, you better send it my way because I spent all day chopping and trying to run my tomatoes through the food mill, and it just was not working to where I just threw everything in my roaster, simmered it down, and then I canned it up that way. So I think it was very messy. It was a disaster. Didn't go as I planned, but you can't win every war you're up against, unfortunately. Another thing we learned this year is my family does not need 15 chickens. Me and my husband are the only 2 that willingly eat eggs anymore. Kids are sick of them. They don't want hardly anything to do with them. Yeah, so after this flock moves on to its next farm, I say this all the time, we're probably going to keep between 6 and 8 chickens, probably even 6. 6 would probably be the best number for our family. 6 chickens. I said this a few videos back and I can't get it out of my head now. My recommendation is 1 chicken per member of your family to not get sick of them. You know, I don't know, that's what I would do if I could go back in time and rethink the number of chickens that we actually need. I just wanted to come out here and talk for a little bit. I'm slightly bored, so this is what you got. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to follow us along on our journey of growing and producing our own food in our backyard. If you like this video, I'll put another one up on screen I think you'll enjoy. Till next time, stay blessed, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.